The world's most secret nuclear weapon program. No, not North Korea. The formation of the nuclear triad shows how seriously Israel takes the idea of nuclear deterrence. Israel did not have to wait long for its first nuclear crisis. The 1973 Yom Kippur War saw Arab armies achieve a strategic shock, sending Israeli ground forces reeling in the Sinai Desert and the Golan Heights. Israel's nuclear weapons are placed on standby and loaded onto the Jericho I and F-4 Phantom surface-to-surface missiles. A persistent Israeli counterattack was able to turn the situation around on both fronts, and weapons were ultimately not used. In a private email leaked to the public, former Secretary of State and retired U.S. Army General Colin Powell alluded to Israel having an arsenal of 200 nuclear weapons. While this number appears to be an exaggeration, there is no doubt that Israel does have a small but powerful nuclear stockpile spread out among its armed forces. Israel's nuclear weapons guard against everything from defeat in conventional wars to serve to prevent enemy states from launching nuclear, chemical, and biological attacks against the tiny nation. Regardless, the goal is the same: to prevent the destruction of the Jewish state. Israel set out to join the nuclear club in the 1950s. David Ben-Gurion is reportedly obsessed with developing bombs as collateral against Israel's enemies. Despite ambitious goals for a small, initially impoverished nation, Israel has no security guarantees with larger and more powerful nations, especially the United States. The state itself even bought conventional weapons from the black market to arm the new Israel Defense Forces. Nuclear weapons will be the last form of security for people who have suffered persecution but now have the means to control their own destiny. Ben-Gurion instructed his scientific advisor, Ernst David Bergman, to direct Israel's covert nuclear efforts and establish and chair the Israel Atomic Energy Commission. Shimon Peres, who later served as Israel's president and prime minister, established contacts with sympathetic France that resulted in an agreement to supply a large heavy-water nuclear reactor and an underground plutonium reprocessing plant, which would convert a disused reactor. Fuel is the main ingredient for nuclear weapons. The reactor was built at Dimona in the Negev Desert. In the late 1960s, the United States viewed Israel's nukes as possibilities, and U.S. efforts to slow down the nuclear program and get Israel to join the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty have been fruitless. Finally, in September 1969, Nixon and Israeli Prime Minister Golda Meir reportedly reached a secret agreement that the United States would stop its requests for Israeli inspections in compliance with anti-proliferation efforts, and in return Israel would not declare or test its nuclear weapons. Not much is known about early Israeli weapons, especially their yield and stockpile size. The strategic situation, where Israel is outnumbered in conventional weapons but has no nuclear foe, means Israel is likely to have a smaller tactical nuclear arsenal to destroy mobs attacking Arab tanks, military bases, and military airfields. However, the relatively short distance between Israel and its neighbors means that Jericho missiles, with a range of just 300 miles, can still hit Cairo and Damascus from the Negev Desert. Israel neither confirms nor denies possessing nuclear weapons. Experts generally assess the country currently has around 80 nuclear weapons, fewer than countries such as France, China, and Britain, but still a sizable number given its adversaries do not have them. These weapons are dispersed among the Israeli version of the nuclear triad of ground, air, and sea-based forces, which are dispersed in such a way that they prevent a surprise nuclear strike. Israel's first nuclear weapon was probably a gravity bomb delivered by a fighter plane. The F-4 Phantom is considered the first delivery system. As a large, powerful twin-engine fighter, the Phantom is probably the first aircraft in the Israeli Air Force capable of carrying a first-generation nuclear device. The new, smaller generation nuclear gravity bomb is likely to equip the F-15I and F-16I fighters. While some might argue that gravity bombs are obsolete given Israel's advances in missile technology, a manned aircraft allows a nuclear strike to be pulled back until the last minute.